Welcome everyone to the back nine of the 2023 Charlotte Roar. We are at Angry Beaver, one of my favorite courses, as well as Alex Cyrus, who is here with me doing co-commentary. How you doing, Alex? What did you think of the front here?
I'm doing great. Front nine is awesome.
Just some hot scores there. We got Matt Peckham at -1, Steve at -2, Debo at -2, and then Jake Russells, who's struggling a little bit, but we'll be picking it back up on the back nine. And big shout out once again to Beast Disc Golf and Andy DiBattista Disc Golf Discs for being the platinum sponsors, as well as our feature sponsor for this coverage. This wouldn't be possible without you guys, so big thank you to you. And let's get the show on the road. Hole 10, what are your thoughts on this one?
Hole 10 is par 3, 310 feet. It's a straight shot, but it has a little bit of a fade at the end. It's one of those natural right-hand, backhand shots. You just want to release it flat and let it fade slightly at the end. Also, this is another one of those holes where if you finish straight, you're still in the circle.
I like this hole because it's kind of one of the, not must-gets, but one of the easier ones in the middle of the stretch, averaging 2.91. It's actually the second easiest hole of the day for you guys. And let's see what Steve does here with his neutron reactor, which we've seen before on the front nine. Guess what? He does it again.
What's a neutron reactor? What is it like? Is it like a buzz or?
I honestly have no idea, but the way that he's throwing it, it's almost between a mid-range and a fairway.
Right, it looks almost like it flies like a buzz. That's why I want to say that.
And here's Debo with, I believe that is his Malta.
Little Annie out the hand, letting it flex up the fairway. That opens up the fairway super wide on this hole.
Great shot there from Debo, looking to get his birdie on. And here is Jake.
So this hole is actually the completion of that par 5 that I was telling you on the par 4 that hooked left.
Oh.
So you would hook left and you would come up this fairway on the par 5.
Oh, very interesting. And I know they're working on a longer hole 10. They're in the works of pushing this one back. So this is going to be a very difficult hole in the future.
400 foot at that point.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be so tough.
I like Matt's drive there. He's getting up there. We're all in the circle here. A little bit outside circle for Jake, but let's see if he can nail this one in. He hasn't hit one outside the circle just yet, but something tells me...
Bang!
He's ready to roll, folks. This is the back nine, and he's ready to pick things up.
He's feeling it. Great
birdie there by Jake. Starting things off for the car. Sometimes when people like that make the first putt, it really gets you going for the rest of the car, and you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
So you just want to keep it going. Yeah. That star frame momentum. So kudos to you, Jake, for starting that on a hole like this.
Yep. It's always that outside 32 foot that'll get that engine going. Let's see if Matt knocks this one down.
That was a great by putt.
Dead center.
Yeah, no, I like his approach there. I believe that was his P1X there. Because he has a different one. Remember, he has that 0, and then he has that yellow one, too. And here's Debo. Let's see if he can get the third birdie out of the 4, out of this awesome feature card, which was picked by rating. We talked about that on the first front nine and the back nine. We haven't mentioned that, but these guys are all 1,000 rated or right around that mark. So pressure's on Steve here a little bit. Oh my gosh.
He hit a little left high and it's just cut through him.
Do you think if it had a little bit less speed, it would have stayed?
I think if it was just a little bit lower, it would have caught that rim back there and fell in.
All right, well, that was hole 10. What do you think of hole 11, Alex?
Hole 11, I think it is one of the most fun holes on the course because you have a Mando off to the left there with the arrow. And if you can just beat that tree through all these, in the fall, it looks wide open. You can get something up through there. But for fairway's sake, you want to take about a 350-foot shot straight and then fading very hard left as the drone flies. Right about here is going to be a perfect tee shot. And then you have a nice little 220-foot approach shot up to the basket. But like I said, going through the woods on this hole is very doable.
It's very U-shaped. First time I played it, it felt like a U. It was hard to describe to players where to land exactly. You just want to let it carry left and make it through the chute here. I mean, this is a 1,000 rated gap, I feel like. You have to be very good to hit this gap.
Yep. And especially hitting it with a lot of speed.
Yeah, and Jake almost
just nicked it.
Yeah, the tree wasn't as favorable for him as it was for Debo. Debo got a really good kick up there.
I think this is his Mako. It looks like a slower speed mid-range.
And watch how fast this hook's left. What?
Oh yeah, that's a Mako.
What? What disc does that?
He makes these right-hand holes look very easy for a lefty.
And it's comfortable for him. He does it consistently. And speaking of consistent, Mr. Textbook, Coach right here. He
through
likes
everything.
it.
He's probably going to be in that spot I was pointing out.
Oh my gosh, that was his champion T-Bird 3. And check out this replay. You were talking about that spot. And when you were talking about that spot earlier, I was saying to myself, who the heck gets up there? Nobody. You're like the drone right here. If you're right here, this is the perfect drive. Nobody gets up there, but actually Steve did.
It's so funny on this hole because, like, you could throw a perfect shot and hit a tree, or you can throw it slightly off and get through everything.
I love this hole. It really is. It's actually one of the easier holes that you guys played, strangely enough. I mean, actually, I take that. Well, yeah, no, it was. It was 3.94. So, yeah, this was the only par 4 that was under par average. So, a lot of people got this one. So, it's a little rewarding if you're in the right spot.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't even notice that.
I like this angle for Matt here. I mean, look at this, just turning shots after turning shots. Butter.
That was butter.
That's a 3 look, folks.
Yep. For a lefty on a U-turn.
Righty. Oh my gosh. Now, if you didn't hear earlier, Matt Peckham is a outstanding player. He's averaging, top podium finishes left and right, playing MP50 events everywhere. And it's just great seeing him play in the MPO division here. So
where Steven just threw from, he was about 40 feet short of where the short basket used to be.
Oh, wow. So he got that far up there.
It used to just be like little right
Par
hand
3
turn.
or par 4?
Par 4.
Oh, so it used to be even easier.
Yeah.
Way easier. Wow. I like this shot because Jake is in some sort of foxhole, look like. And he got a pretty good pull up there. Let's see if he can save his bogey. Actually, this might be his par save.
I think
either
this
way,
is for par. Just a little low.
There's a lot going on for him on that hole. And now we have Debo. I believe this is for his birdie.
That's the thing with Angry. You can feel like you're playing really good, but birdies still feel like you're working.
Working hard, too.
Working really, really hard.
Yeah, and Steve's like, okay, you guys talk about working hard. Here's my birdie look from 20 feet. And he nails it.
Dead center.
Yeah, no, he missed his putt on the previous one. So that one, he was a little hesitant, but he still got it right in the center. So that's going to be a confidence boost for the next hole for him, I believe.
Yep.
Which is another amazing hole. You like this hole. I like hole 12 personally.
The triple island. And this hole, the next hole has changed so much.
Really?
Yep. The basket used to be on the first island. So here we have a hole 12, par 4, 552 feet. You want to start going straight and then subtle grade down. And you want to have your shot just slightly fade off left, not going too far left, because as you can see, you can get into those woods. It's tough. You go straight, it's tough. So the landing zone on this one is very, very particular. You can land here or you can land way up here, which is almost impossible.
Never seen it.
Basket used to be right on top of here. Now they moved it all the way back and added another island. So this is one of my favorite holes on the course.
Wow, so they made it extra harder. So what used to be very almost gettable. Now it's even more difficult.
Yeah, and the tee pad that's up on the corner is the one you used to throw from. They added this tee pad.
Okay. So lengthened it and
Oh, it was perfect shot until he hit that last tree.
I would love to see him finish there. And
looks like the Mako again, don't it?
Yes, he's going to be trying to bend this left very hard like he did on the last shot. Very similar shots, actually. And the downhill helps him.
Yeah.
You know, and, oh my gosh, he gets great.
That's so good.
Yeah. He's going to have probably 300 feet or so to get down to the island there.
Yeah, he's in a great spot. He has like one row of trees to be on the island that he's at currently.
Oh my gosh, I feel like Steve's just outdoing.
Is that the T-Bird again?
Yeah, man.
That T-Bird 3 is he's landing in all the spots that I'm saying are impossible to land.
And that's wow, look at that. He has literally a putter approach. That's insane. And this whole average, I don't know if you've mentioned it yet already or not, but it averaged 4.63. So I mean, I think it was the 5th hardest hole that you guys played, and it's back-to-back difficulties.
Those are all 4 really, really, really good tee shots on this hole.
Feature card, baby. GMT feature card. We don't mess around here. And Debo, no, don't do it. He went
slightly
OB.
Yeah. And that's how this
be unforgiving here, man.
Yeah, that's how this hole gets you. And they just leave all those trees on those islands and say good luck.
I mean, it makes you think, because look what Matt's doing here. He's going to take his par, which is almost a stroke gain from the field, because he played it smart. He's not going to go for that.
But I guarantee you, if he lands where Jake's at, he's going for it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if he has a more straight shot towards the bucket, it gives you that more comfortability of turning something over and staying on there.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Jake, we weren't sure if he was OB or not. He actually was safe. You can see he was on that little inlet there for 3 from there. Hopefully.
Very fortunate.
Look at this. Just an easy hyzer.
Yeah.
I mean, this is textbook. I call him textbook. And this is why. He's just taking a breath, shaking it off, shaking the birdie off. You know, he knows he's going to get it. That was a good approach there.
Yeah, that's part of Steven's routine. Like, you'll see him, he'll step back, he'll take a little breath with his eyes closed, arms open, and then he'll just focus in real quick and smash it.
I mean, those seconds of refocusing is very important. Sometimes you could just be a half a second or half a focus off.
And your brain can get distracted very easily. I know.
Yeah, we all know. It's crazy out there. Disc golf is a wonderful sport, but it can be very distracting, very fast. And here's Jake for his par save. You can see that he's
lining it up, taking his time.
Definitely taking his time there. And, you know, he had a good moment of stretch on 10 and 11. I'm hoping that he can turn things around on hole 13 and 14.
After giving away, those 5 strokes, he's just kind of been...
And he would have been fine if it wasn't for those first few holes, I think. I think he was just the camera shy or a little jittery just in the first few holes. And now he's settled in clearly, and so have the other players.
All right, here we go. Hole 13, 255-foot par 3, straight up the hill. You can't see it on camera, but it's gradually going uphill at about 15-degree slope. 255, playing about 285. Just throw your putter, something very flippy, on hyzer, and that'll just get up there.
Taking his reactor here. So you go putter. Most people are going to go either fairway or mid. You have a little more power than most, but Steven's going to, I think this is, again, going back to that neutral 5-6 speed for him.
Slightly misrelease, hitting the first available.
Not where you want to be for this hole, and, they're 2-3 down, both of them here. Let's see how Matt does.
Yeah.
Whoa!
He follows him.
He said right after this throw, he really liked the old position. I guess it was to the right.
Yep.
And it was a little more favorable for lefties.
It was. So the old position, you see the little fairway off to the right there with the sun? See that sunbeam? It followed that whole line.
Let's check out this replay by Jake. Here we go. Going for the ace run.
Ooh, what a shot.
That's a great shot. Yeah, so the sun on the left side on that angle, but right side from the tee pad. And Debo, I believe this is like his Malta. He's just throwing it hard.
Yeah, he's trusting the stability.
Yeah, that's surprising to be a little short for him.
It's the height, it's the elevation on this hole. It just kills your distance.
And I know he was telling me he bought new kicks right before this tournament, so
he didn't want to get messed up.
Yeah, you know, maybe it was the kicks that threw him off a little bit.
Go in?
Ooh, I wouldn't be that surprised if that went in. He's been having a heck of a round, and he's only off pace from the leader 2 strokes right now. Gage Styles is about 5 down at this moment, so he's throwing a heater, and you're throwing pretty good as well.
Yeah, I think coming onto this hole is like 3 or 4.
And let's see if Debo can get that birdie.
Looks good. Just a little short. It looked perfect out of his hand.
Really did. Looks like he had it. I'm gonna blame the shoes on that one. I got your back, Debo.
He hasn't broken them in yet.
Got you in the Maine State's back. And
Jake getting a birdie.
There it is. One of his 2 birdies that he's had today, and I'm sure that feels really good. He's never quit. I like that about him because, you know, after struggling after 4 or 5 holes, you can totally check out.
Yeah,
and Jake never did that. Yeah. Especially Angry Beaver, like you said. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think just Angry Beaver is, you want to capitalize on all the par 3s, and if you don't, you sort of feel like you're not doing anything. But here we have hole 14. It's a par 3, 297 feet. This is a left to right turning shot. This is a tight fairway, and Matt Peckham is going to eat it up because it is a lefty shot or a very understable disc, whatever you want.
Yeah, I think Matt is going to eat it up. But let's see Jake throw the first attempt here with his forehand. I like the attempt with the forehand, just a little early, and you could tell. Yeah, you could tell right away that something was not going to go right there.
Yeah, for the forehand though, that is the miss because you need to be inside on the forehand in order to get up there.
And I believe that's again his champion T-bird or this is the Thunderbird, excuse me. So it's a little more stable. So both those players getting in a little bit of trouble here off hole 14, averaging 3.03. So right in the middle, not a must get. It doesn't seem like if it's averaging 3.03, but
for the Charlotte locals, this is almost a must get because you usually just have a disc in your bag ready for this hole. But for Josh DiBattista, it's like, what do I throw here? You know,
he's never played. That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah, and you can see Matt just threading the needle, like just putting it on hyzer and letting it fade. This hole it's gettable.
It's deceiving.
Yeah.
It's tricky. And then you got the sun in your eyes around this time because we played, this is, with tee time. So we didn't play shotgun start. So this was around, I want to say around 4:30 that this time here. You guys are getting with 3 holes left. And that was a really high level skill shot.
Very technical shot.
Yeah. And he was super high on that. Meanwhile, Jake was a little too low, I think, on this approach here.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's just like
Steven used the height for the glide to get the glide to the right.
And that was the trick on that one. Man, I didn't know Jake was still that far away.
Get him up and down for a bogey.
Wow. So here's Debo for his birdie approach. Just laying for par. That's totally fine. And Matt, he left it a little shorter than I thought he would have. Wow. That was a half of an inch. And that would have been -3 for Matt. That's killer round.
That is killer round.
He's still shooting really well.
All I had to do was fall forward.
Yeah. I mean, Steve's shooting 4. Again, we just talked about Gage is round 5 right now. And so he's only 1 off the pace of the leader, which, you're talking 1030s.
Yeah.
At least.
Usually 4 down is in the lead by a couple of strokes. So.
All right, hole 15, break it down for us.
All right, 669 par 4. This used to be hole 18. You got about a 330-foot shot. You want to come up here to this manhole cover. That is a perfect landing position on this hole, no more, no less. You go deep, you have OB all along the left side on that creek, and then you want to turn right at about 350. Going up here, you have another 320-foot shot, hyzering over the manhole this time, and you want to stay out of that road and making it a very fun par 4. I would say this is one of the funnest holes on the course right here.
Yeah, with a little bit of trouble on the left side with that OB creek. I would say it used to be a really good finishing hole. It's no longer a finishing hole, which I think is a good call. I think 18 is a better hole than this.
I agree.
And this is a good hole 15. There's just nothing about it. It averaged, let's take a look here. It averaged 4.09. So right in the middle of the pack, not too hard, not too easy. Steve had a really good shot there, just a little left. He's going to have a strange look at the basket for his long approach.
Yeah, he's going to be cut off just a little bit. I'm thinking he might be going for par from that position, but you never know.
Never know. Debo's thinking roller. I don't see too many rollers from him, but he executed this really well.
Miss it? Yeah, miss the manhole cover.
And just a little
If
it just came back a little
that
more,
one
5
tree.
feet, come on.
That one tree is gonna cook him.
It is, but he should have a look, which is all we want on this hole, is just looks for the 3. Matt, if you're asking if he has distance, he really does. Check this one out. Hits the tree and still gets to the manhole.
Yeah, he hits the manhole cover, placed it perfectly.
Isn't that what you said to go?
Yeah. They just keep doing what I'm saying. They keep telling, every time I say a spot's impossible, they land there. And
And Jake getting a really good pull, maybe fading a little too much there. He's going to have another forehand, most likely. Really no other way to get to the basket on the backhand, I don't think, from where he's going to be.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a little bit to the right of that short tee pad we're looking at. So Steven's about 350. He's got a forehand up to the bucket, slightly
Which shows
inside.
how much power he has, though. And he's probably about 50 short, unfortunately. Matt, the lefty. This is a nice lefty hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
This sets up perfectly for him.
You know, he wasn't sure he wanted to play this tournament. I saw him out there the weekend before.
Okay.
And I was like, Matt, you know this whole course is a lefty course, right? And he ended up signing up. And he did really well. Loved it.
He had a great attitude from the beginning. He reached out to us before even we reached out to him to be on the feature card. And I said, Matt, don't worry, you're actually going to be on the feature card. And it just worked out very well. But very rarely do we have people reaching out to us asking to be on the feature card at Greatest Media Team. And look at this shot by Debo. This is the Maine in him.
That tree didn't matter at all.
No. He's just so comfortable dancing around things. And
he's got about 110 feet left.
Oh, I thought it was
what he does.
a little less than that. But
he hits the one tree to get around.
Yeah, he left himself way shorter than I thought. But Matt's looking for his birdie here. I think he's going to nail it. He missed a little short on the last one. He's going to put a little more height on this one.
With the Nova.
Just a little misdirection on 2 left, it looked like. And
still playing great. You're happy with the 2 down all day.
And a par doesn't feel bad on this. I mean, it feels fine.
Josh is having a great streak here on the back 9.
And he keeps rubbing his elbows. I don't know if he was feeling a little tense or something. Maybe he had some tennis elbow going on. But you can see in this replay here, he's going to kind of tend to it a little bit.
Yeah, he's probably just feeling a little bit of fatigue.
And when that Angry Beaver will do it, it's one of the longest courses in Charlotte. I believe it's the second longest. Dry Creek #1, Renaissance, and Angry Beaver right next to each other, neck to neck, around 90, 100 feet or something like that.
Right. And it'll get you throwing a lot more forehands than you want.
That is a good point, because we've seen him do the forehand rollers. We've seen him do the forehand. Mm-hmm. This course makes you do things that you're not generally used to. And that was a good birdie by Jake. 2 solid forehands, and he got that.
He's really riding the roller coaster right now.
But he's staying in there. Like,
Well,
it's
the
hard.
Angry Beaver coaster, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's either you start off hot or you don't. I find angry. That's how you can tell. Within the first 6 holes, you can usually tell how your round's going to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you hit a birdie or 2 in the first 2, you know it's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
And then hole 16 used to be hole 1.
Yep.
Here we go. What are your thoughts on this one?
This hole is iconic. So you start, you have the 2 gaps. You can go right side of those trees or left side of the 3 trees in the middle. And you want to push this about 280. And that's max, because you go any further, you're OB. Mm-hmm. If you push it too straight, you're an OB. Mm-hmm. It's very particular shot, very hard birdie. If you get this, you've thrown a almost perfect shot.
Yeah, definitely a gem of a shot. And then, I mean, there's OB everywhere. There's OB on the right, deep, left. You really just have to watch out. And this is like one of Debo's favorite shots. I feel like he likes to turn
force over with a slightly stable disc.
But why is there OB there?
Did he slide in?
He slid right in there.
No.
And I thought that was too good of a shot to go OB personally.
It's that slight stability. It caught him.
Averaging 3.43, so one of like the 6 hardest hole that you guys played. This is not an easy hole, and unfortunately, Jake rolls OB after just getting the birdie. Jake, come on.
Yeah. I also went OB on this hole. I pushed it too straight. Yeah.
Backhand?
I sidearmed it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Just kind of like this, and then just skipped.
Well, I threw it too flat, and it pushed into the straight OB.
Oh, just went straight.
I had just checked scores too. So
of course. Check scores, go OB. The telltale
check
of
scores,
being a professional
bogey the last 3 holes.
Oh man,
gotta love it.
Gotta love the PDGA's live scoring app. Didn't used to be like that, you know. And Matt, I mean, being a lefty, he was probably waiting to get to
his chops.
He was literally waiting to get up to this hole. And he got, I think, CTP there, but he just was like, you know what, I'll just leave it for the person. Because he probably has had so many CTPs over his life that he just doesn't even care anymore.
Yeah, if it's a disc, he'll probably just give it up.
Yeah. So now they're talking
Unless
about...
it's a 0 or a Mako 3.
Or a P1X if you have one more of those.
Yeah. Those are hard to find.
They are. Debo did unfortunately slide OB, so he was just discussing with the cards what's going on. And
did that sit? That does get sneaky down there. It drops down into the OB real quick.
It did sit, luckily.
This is a dangerous putt. He's running it.
He definitely ran it. I like the gutsiness that he ran it, though, because he's having a good round. He wanted to go -5, and he got a good sit, obviously, with the rock there.
Yeah, I think he got away with one right there.
You think he did?
I think he did.
Yeah. All right. Well, Steve, you hear that? You got away with one. It happens. Obviously, you're still playing great, and he picked up all the CTPs. Look, you know, that's how nice Matt is. You know, he keeps thinking about others, not just about his round. And that's a telltale sign of a good athlete there. I appreciate that, Matt. And Steve cleaning up his par. Jake getting the bogey. He really has had a roller coaster round, especially in the back. It's been birdie, bogey, birdie, bogey. And then hole 17, one of my absolute favorites. It is about 600 feet. Tell us more about it.
So it is 600 feet. We're to par 4. We're gonna go straight. You see this little tree that's jutting off over the fairway? That's a perfect landing zone on this hole. If we go a little bit past that, we can cut off our line, like near the white pole there. We have OB lining the whole entire left side with a creek. It comes into play a lot. You can hit any tree and go left into OB. And then you have the green, very small. Just try to get it up there. But on the first shot, you just want to try to throw something flat and straight.
And Matt will take you up on that one. He loves straight and flat. That was a really good looking shot by him. He just wish he gets through that little bead.
He's in that center pod of trees. If he can get to the left of that, he has a wide open shot.
I'll still take that shot any day for this hole. He's up there. And Steve Jacobs is going to be throwing his star T-Bird, his orange one. This looks really good.
Maybe a good tree.
It is. I don't mind landing a little left up there because there's a little bit of a hyzer alley there.
But it can get sneaky and slide off into the OB.
Exactly. So where he is totally fine. And then Debo going to be taking his, I believe, again, this is his Thunderbird or T-Bird.
Flipping it all the way up sit. And he got very fortunate. He
thought he was OB on this. You could see the reaction. He was like, ugh. But
there's these little subtle pockets where the creek will open up and it gives you like a little peninsula.
Which is a great thing to have on a hole, because it kind of gives the player the illusion that you might go OB, but it's actually like a nice safety net almost for somebody that hyzers out a little bit.
So Jake has a dead straight shot to the basket here if he can hit that little 3-foot gap. He was trying to go around it to hit the fairway, but as you can see, there was a little tiny gap, but I think that's what Steven's going to go for here.
I'm actually very surprised Jake didn't do the forehand there. He has a good forehand. He could have just sort of chipped right to the middle there, but he went aggressive. You could tell he went very aggressive there.
Yeah. And I think that might be the only thing that's getting to him on this round.
Yeah. And
if you play aggressive at Angry will take strokes.
That is absolutely true. And he hasn't settled down from the aggressiveness. I feel like he's been playing a steady aggressive flow.
Yeah, that was an aggressive shot there too with the flip up.
Yeah. So he's looking for potentially bogey. And then Debo's actually taking his, I believe that was his, that was his second shot.
Yeah.
My gosh, he got so far up there.
That was a great shot.
And he's not that comfortable with those forehands, but that was in a good spot. He's about 45 feet, 38 feet.
Yeah, he's in that little hole right there.
A fox den.
Mm-hmm.
Jake was not OB, but he's going to be taking this for his bogeys, for his par save, so he does end up getting a bogey. And look at this look from Debo for birdie, folks.
That's such a good putt.
Averaging 4.91.
Yeah.
Second hardest hole. Harder than hole 1. And he just made it look so easy.
How many birdies do we have on that hole?
We'll take a quick peek, but I believe it is only 5 birdies.
We have Colin Stetler, Daniel Easter, Derek Wells, Josh DiBattista, and Phil Hadwiger. Good birdies, guys.
Yeah, unbelievable birdies. And one of my favorite holes. I just love the S shape. I love the danger near the green.
The OB is so volatile.
How many times have you birdied it?
This hole, I've played this course so many times in my life.
Would you say 5%? 10%? What's your percentage? Because I think it's a very tough birdie. I played this course at least 10 times. I think I've only birdied it once.
Let's put it this way. If I throw a perfect tee shot, my percentage of getting up there for birdie is probably around 20%.
Okay, and that's if you have a perfect.
Yeah, that's like if I'm on that white hole. That's how hard.
So less than 5%.
Yeah.
I would say.
Because those little trees right there, man, it just makes that line. It swings it out and it makes you have to do a little flex when you just want to throw a straight shot.
Unreal. Great hole. Great design.
I love that hole. This hole is my favorite hole on the entire course. Hole 18, 896 foot par 5. And you just want to throw 250 right here. You have OB all the way in this section. That's the first island. We're going over here to the second island now. You want to land your second shot right around that blue rock. And then once you land there, you throw another big hyzer. You see the OB lining the fairway. We're going to swing all the way around these trees and hopefully not go too deep, because if we go deep, we're down that hill and it's a bad day. And get it up to the basket for your 4. Most time, you will not see a 4 on this hole.
My gosh, what a finishing hole. 900 feet. Really setting up for 2 perfect shots off the tee. First one can, a little putter or mid-range, but the second one's so important. And then leading up to that third shot, which is the most important shot, I think. And you said landing near that blue rock, so we'll see how well these players are able to get to that spot.
Mm-hmm. So I would say the most important shot on this hole is the tee shot.
Really?
Put it this way, right? Say you throw your tee shot and you go a little bit left inside there. Now you're laying up because you can't get over the OB. So therefore you're instantly taking another stroke. On the second shot, you can go OB, but you're crossing somewhere. This one, like that's instant bogey. So like even if he went 200 feet further into the trees up there, it's instant bogey.
Yeah.
So that first tee shot is so vital on this hole.
I just feel like the tee shot is almost like standard for most pro players. So that's why I almost like give it the, not as much highlight, but that second shot for me is always like where I land, and that third shot is for me how I get up there, determining the birdie or not.
Right.
But
I agree with that.
To get here where Steve is, I mean, that's a perfect spot. I'm surprised he's a little behind that tree, but the hyzer is interesting here because I haven't seen too many people play a hyzer on that second shot.
Yeah, so he pushed it a tad bit straighter than he wanted to. He wanted to fade left and get near that tree that's in front of him.
Mm-hmm. And Jake is going to be throwing his third.
That's an aggressive shot.
And unfortunately, it goes OB.
Oh.
Actually, that was his fourth shot. So he's going to be taking a very high number, which let's talk about what this average. You want to take a guess?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to average at least a stroke or two above par.
Yeah, and you're right on the money there. 6.31. This is a par 5, folks. So this average 0.13 over par. With all the OB, it kind of makes sense. But I haven't seen a hole that average that high outside of Pro Tour tournament.
Right. With it being this open too, like there's no trees on this fairway, and it's the hardest hole on the entire course.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Why is that?
It's just the shapes of the OB. I think it's.
Is it because Angry's training you for trees the entire time, and then the last hole is wide open?
It's a good thought.
Is it a mental play?
It's a good. Well, let's see what happens with Josh here, because this is a very important shot for him. So that is a big mess up because I haven't seen him do anything that egregiously.
Yeah, he's going aggressive there.
Exactly.
He's very aggressive.
And that's going to cost him 2 strokes at least because he's going to have to move back. He didn't cross. That's his 5th shot. And hopefully he can save 6, Now, what's interesting to me, so Jake is thrown out of he did go OB, so that was his
hammered
5th or 6th shot, yeah. That was a good shot.
Dude, he boosted that one.
I'll get back to Josh, but take a look what Steve does here. He goes forehand. I'm surprised he didn't do a flex hyzer. He goes OB. He doesn't cross.
You don't think he crossed?
He didn't. Both of them didn't make it, unfortunately. And now going back to Debo, him and I actually talked about this hole the day before. And I asked him what would he throw on that 3rd shot, which was the one that he went to OB. He said, I'm going to throw a putter. But he did it in the tournament.
The driver, yeah.
Something clicked. Like you said, something made him do something that he wasn't really supposed to. Like he was off track. And then all of a sudden now he's blown up.
Yeah.
And that's what happens at Angry. 1 or 2 plays. You don't stick to your game plan.
He could have been throwing mids and putters all day, right?
The whole time.
Fairways, but as soon as he sees a wide open shot, he brings out the driver.
He wanted to get the birdie.
And that's what this hole does to you. You're like, it's totally birdieable. I can throw a 250, I can throw a 300 foot, and I can throw a 350. You know what I'm saying?
And Steve, he went OB, so he's going to be looking to save his bogey. This is Jake's 7th shot, so he's looking at best as an 8. Another forehand roller.
Oh, did he hit the hill?
He curled up.
Okay.
He's okay.
Sometimes you can hit that hill on the top and it'll just slide right on down.
What a finishing hole, though, honestly. Yeah. So next year, we're thinking about switching, maybe doing Scrapyard first round and Angry Beaver second round so we can really see the finishes on this hole. Mm-hmm. I think it's that warranted to have it on this second layout.
Yeah.
So here's Steve to save his bogey after going OB. Let's see if he can nail it. It's about 40 feet.
Wow, what a putt.
What a 6 to save his bogey and to make the lead card to be filmed. So I bet that's what it was he was thinking about, to make sure he was still going to get filmed. Because had he missed that, he might have been on the cusp there.
Yeah, you know what they say, pressure creates diamonds sometimes.
Absolutely. It's a great statement there. Tough hole for Jake. Oh my gosh, he took a triple there.
Tough hole for Josh.
Tough hole for Josh. He took a double. I mean, this is
Just that one lapse of decision right there.
And we talked about it the day before, which was the crazy part. He's like automatic, putter, putter, putter.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's so easy. I was thinking to myself. And then he does, obviously you saw what happened.
You get that energy and you get that taste in your mouth for birdie and you want more of them, man.
I love disc golf, and that's one of the reasons, because it makes you do some silly stuff sometimes, and then you're like, why did I do that? All right, well, here it is, folks. This is what your lead card is going to look like. You have Gage Styles, Andrew Weiler, Steven Jacobs, and Alex, your co-host here. Looks like you made it.
I did.
How'd you like that feature card?
The feature card was awesome. I loved watching everyone kill it. All their shots, honestly, for some of the hardest holes, they were hitting some of the craziest tee shots you'll see.
Averaging 1040 golf Gage Styles, though, -6. I mean, that's going to be hard to beat at Scrapyard if he keeps hitting those types of lines. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for tuning in. Alex, thanks for being here. We hope you like this feature card, and stay tuned for the lead card, the Charlotte Roar lead card.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Beast Disc Golf is your one-stop shop for premium quality athletic gear for the sport we all love. We offer designer athletic gear for men, women, and children. That way you can look great on and off the course. Get 10% off your order when using code HYPE on our website. Once again, use code HYPE to save 10% on your entire order. Want to add some hype back into your game? Visit us at beastdiscgolf.com today